All right, here we have a 1991 Ford F-150 4.9 liter. This thing is absolutely beautiful. It's got all red interior with only 90,000 miles on it. Anyways, we are going to be doing a valve cover gasket and also push rod gasket. And obviously I'm going to replace the intake manifold gasket since it's got to come off anyways. So let's get started. All right, so I will be throwing a blanket over all of this just so that I keep everything nice. I believe the customer's wanting to sell this truck after this. And anyways, I just want to keep the front of it nice and shiny because it's all detailed. Okay. Just want to set everything off to the side just so everything is super clear. I don't know how brittle things are, so you definitely want to be careful. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to unbolt this EGR. Whew, I thought that was going to be a lot worse. Everything's pretty rusted. We just might get lucky. Okay, I had to get a deep socket to the bottom one. Nice. Very good. Very good. There's one. And number two. Okay. Very good. Slowly taking everything apart. All right, got that off. I'm gonna set that off to the side. Take the air cleaner out so you don't get it dirty. Right, that cover right there for the throttle just has that one guy right there, so pop that out with the tool. Okay, and go ahead and pop throttle off, and the rest of the wire harness going to the throttle body. Okay, right there. Looks like we got an 8. Come on. I'm gonna go ahead and put that back in there so we don't lose track of where that was. Just like that. Okay, so that harness is off. Cool. That's off. Just gotta unbolt those, get those out. Right there. And right there. Okay, right there, very good. Those are out of the way. Make sure I put them back in there so I know when between those. Awesome. Cool. Okay, so all these bolts in the intake are a 1/2 inch, and none of them were really tight, so that's good. That one is a bracket, That one is a ground. Okay, so I've gotten all the bolts out other than the last two in the back. And those ones are not that fun to get, so just a heads up. We're doing it from the bottom. Okay. Next move will be is taking that off right there, that bracket. It's a 9/16. Okay, it should come out now. There is a vent hose in the bottom, but just gotta work it out. Oh, it's coming out pretty dang easy actually. Watch all those vacuum lines don't break nothing. Awesome, very smooth. It's extremely nice. This is that vent hose right here. So just be careful. And be careful with all of these whenever you're taking it out. Just to be certain, grab every single piece to make sure that you don't drop anything into the actual intake. But that is every single piece right there. And it was very old and brittle. Good thing we got a new one. You can see where it's been leaking. See how nice and dry this side is? This side is extremely wet. All these bolts are 7/16. Extremely loose. Probably even could have tightened this just to seal it up, but it's very old, so we might as well just replace it. You can take off this bracket. These are 7/16 also. Give yourself some room right there. We can't really do much about the fuel lines. We can just push them back a little bit, but that's about all we can do. And that's okay. Okay, start getting the rest of those out. They're all the same length and everything, so you won't get them mixed up. The only different one is the one by the firewall. Last one. Okay. Okay, so this is the far back one, closer to the firewall. It's going to be different than all the other ones. Right there. She's out. Everything looks pretty clean. Let's get this gasket out carefully. Don't want to knock none of that junk in there. Very good. I'm going to clean that valve cover. I'm going to go ahead and purple power all this. Let it sit. I'll make sure I rinse it off really good when I'm done. We're going to scrub it down. This is right on top of the engine. It should look nice. And he can detect if there's any other leaks ever again. Sweet, let's let that sit for a while. Well, that definitely looks way better. Let's go ahead and pop the gasket in and shove this thing on top. New gaskets on there. It has these little walls on it so that it can ride up against there. I'm gonna get the valve cover and shove it down in there, then set it down on top. Hopefully it goes just as simple as I just said that. That was pretty smooth. You always want to double check this gasket, make sure that's all good. And everything looks super good. I just need to check that back one, back there. And that's the first bolt I will be putting in also. Remember, it's the one with the stud. Okay, you want to go ahead and just clean all those bolts up. Go ahead and get yourself a wire brush. Clean up all them threads because it has all that gunk in the threads right there. Just like all that, it's unnecessary. I'm pretty sure the customer will really be happy if everything's nice and clean and fresh. You know, I would be. It's already apart, why not just clean it up? Okay, so whenever you're tightening this kind of stuff, do you want to somewhat go in a pattern? I'm taking them to 100. New gaskets. Let's get those on. Okay, let's go ahead and put this gasket on. Make sure not to get any junk in there. You want to make sure your gasket's super solid. It's in there. There's that hose that goes all the way to right there, so you got to make sure that you put that guy in. Just like that. All these vacuum hoses need to be put back on. I believe that one right there, and there's that one right there. I'll look back on my video, but I'm pretty positive that's how those go. That's why I video everything, make sure that everything goes back exactly the way it was. Okay, so I tighten everything down. Don't forget, this one's a stud right here. This one's a stud, and it holds a ground wire right there. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten both of those nuts. Go ahead and put your throttle back in. Right there. This one right here goes on top, just like so, like that. This pops in right there. Okay, and this pops right on there. That's back together. Okay, let's go ahead and get the AGR back on. Okay, so the valve cover job is done. Everything's back together. I haven't put any of this back on the air box yet because I'm going to be doing something else to this truck. Make sure you watch because that's going to be in another video. Thanks for watching.